This is in the interest of Braxton Page. We're set today on the court's docket for our initial permanency hearing.
Adam Rowens, attorney for the child.
Yes, sir. I represent Mr. Edward Oates, who is an intervenor in this case. He's the grandfather of the child and the father of Miss J.J. Page. We recently entered into the case, Judge.
Candy Pratt.
And are you the caseworker on the Braxton Bishop case?
Yes.
And where is Braxton currently placed?
He is placed in a foster home in Dripping Springs, Texas.
And how long has he been there?
Since the beginning of the case. I think he was in a shelter for a week, but he's been with his family since the beginning of the case.
Okay. And how is he doing in that placement?
He's doing remarkably well. He's just started school. He's in pre-K. He's going to Wildwood Springs Elementary in Dripping Springs. It's a brand new school. He's having visits with his parents once a week for about 2 hours. They have really good visits. He's doing well.
And so is the placement able to meet all of his needs?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And have we also looked for relatives as a possible placement for Braxton?
Yes, we did an ICPC home study for the Oates home in Georgia.
And what were the results of that ICPC home study?
Georgia denied that home study.
And why did Georgia deny that home study?
It's my understanding it was due to past criminal history.
Regarding the grandfather?
That's my understanding, yes. I could not see the whole home study. I just got a letter of a brief explanation as to why it was denied.
Okay. And so without that approved home study, the state can't send Braxton out there to stay with his grandfather. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And so what then, as far as, do we have any other relatives that we're looking at this point?
No, we do not.
Okay. As far as the services for Miss Page, how is she doing on her services?
She's doing well. She's doing a parenting class through the Methodist Healthcare Ministries, I believe it's called, and it's in Region 8. She's about finished with that class. It's my understanding that she's probably done at least 8 sessions by this time. So she's just about finished with that. She's participating in therapy with Vicki Kaler, and they are continuing that therapy at this time. Unfortunately, we had a positive hair drug test in July for Miss Page, so we kind of backslid a little bit, and she did notify everybody about that before we even got the drug test back. Okay. And took responsibility for her relapse. She does have an OSAR evaluation coming up. I believe it's scheduled for September 10th. So she'll be going to that. But other than that, she's visiting every week since she got her car. Transportation has been not an issue here recently. So she's been visiting, coming to all the visits. Her and Donathan, since he's gotten out of jail, they've been doing their visits together. So they have 2 hours a week. And I let them, they have 1 hour each, but they've decided to go ahead and combine it. So they're there for 2 hours with him, and they've had a really good time with their visits. They do all kinds of fun activities. They go bowling, they go to arcades, they've gone to putt-putt, they've swam in the river, they've gone fishing, and they have a good time at their visits.
So it'd be accurate to say that it appears that both parents are very bonded to Braxton?
Yes, very.
Okay. And who, can you see Miss Page right now? What child is she holding right now?
I don't know who that is.
Okay. So is Miss Page in?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Is that Braxton? It is their visit time. It's Braxton. I was like, that looks like Braxton. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is their visit time right now. So that is Braxton. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Braxton.
All right. Is Miss Page in compliance, not compliance, or in partial compliance with the family plan of service?
She is in compliance.
Okay. And how is Mr. Donathan doing on his services?
Okay. Mr. Donathan got out of jail end of June, very end of June. They had the flood in Kerrville. He lives in the Kerrville area, so they had some dealing with that whole episode. He's been working. He's working really hard to save some money and pay off some of his fines and parole so that he doesn't get behind on that. He has been referred to, again, Methodist Healthcare for the parenting class, and there's a therapist in Kerrville that he's been referred to, as well as a psychological evaluation he has been referred to. He has not started his services yet, but he plans to reach out to those service providers next week to get started. He does understand how important it is to get started. He's just trying to get his feet under him financially so he doesn't find himself back in jail. So, but he is going to get started next week.
Okay, now Mr. Bishop recently tested positive for marijuana on his drug test. Is that correct?
He did test positive. It was very low levels of marijuana, but he also did provide me with a physician's statement and recommendation from a doctor for the use of cannabis for the treatment of PTSD. He has reported to me that he uses gummies in the evenings before he goes to bed. And he said not every night, but he does use the gummies for the PTSD.
Okay, so we've got low levels of marijuana. We've got a doctor's letter approving the use of cannabis. Are we asking him to complete an OSAR?
We have asked him to complete the OSAR. Yes, we have asked him.
And why are we asking him to complete an OSAR if we've got the doctor's note?
We have asked him to complete the OSAR because of the positive drug test, so that when we get ready to do any kind of a reunification packet, we have the recommendations from OSAR.
Okay. And are we asking for any additional services for Mr. Bishop?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. And as far as you said that on his doctor's letter that there was a recommendation, or there was a he said that he was he's using that for PTSD. Is there any help that we're giving him right now with any of his services that would address that?
We did ask him to do a psychological evaluation, like I said earlier, so that we can address the PTSD and any recommendations from that psychological.
Okay. So is he in compliance, not in compliance, or in partial compliance?
At this point, I would say he's just getting started, so I would say he's in compliance.
Okay. And are there any other updates for the court?
Nothing currently, no.
And are we asking for anything additional for this case?
No.
All right, thank you. I pass the witness.
Ms. Musgrove.
Your Honor, or I'm sorry, Ms. Pratt, the only thing I think that we were missing in updates was regarding Ms. Page's work. Do you have verification of her work? Is she working right now?
Last I talked to JJ, she was still cleaning our Airbnb locations, and she did verify that employment. I want to say that she recently changed employment, and I have not received anything verifying that, unless I'm mistaken.
Okay, thank you. And if you can recall from the letter that was submitted to you by Georgia with the denied ICPC, from what year?
Hold on a minute.
JJ, you need to, there you go.
I'm going to go back, Your Honor, strike what I just stated. In Georgia, the ICPC that was denied, from what year was that criminal history of maternal grandfathers, if you can recall?
I don't recall what year it was. I know that it was decades ago.
Okay, so not anything recent.
Nothing recent.
And as you stated, the visits are going well. Is that correct?
They are, yes.
As we can kind of see in just the windows that we have right now, mom and dad are co-parenting and working together to take care of Braxton. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
And what would the department like to see from Miss Page in order to start working towards unsupervised visits?
We need 2 clean hair strands.
For even just
drug test. I'm sorry.
For even just unsupervised visits, you need 2 clean hair tests?
Yes, we do.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Hilly.
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Rowens.
Ms. Pratt, what is the permanency plan right now?
I believe it's still reunification, and I think the concurrent is relative adoption.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Brown?
Judge. Have you been aware of the child being around Mr. Oates and his wife and family?
Yes, I know that they have weekly virtual visits with Braxton, with the foster parents. And I also know that the foster parents had taken Braxton to a wedding out of state, and they were able to come up. They drove up and visited with them while they were in North Carolina.
Yes, ma'am. And other than receiving the information from about the ICPC, I apologize, or being unable to do the home study, does the department have any objections to Mr. Oates being around the child or having any access to the child?
I would have to staff that with my supervisor, but at this point, it would be supervised visitation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. No further questions. Pass witness.
Ms. Sexton?
No other questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Musgrove?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Hilly?
Nothing additional.
And Mr. Rowens?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Hi, Ms. Sexton. Any other witnesses you like to call today?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Musgrove, any witnesses?
Not today, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Hilly?
Briefly call my client, Mr. Jonathan Bishop.
Okay. Mr. Bishop, if you'll raise your right hand for me, please, sir, so I can swear you in. You swear the testimony you're going to provide in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Hilly.
You heard what the caseworker said about what you're doing in services. What else do you want the court to know about your compliance? Do you think you're in full compliance to the extent that you can be in full compliance?
Yes, sir.
And as to visitation, how are your visits going? And are you asking the court today for more visitation?
I would love, as much visitation as I could get with him. The visits are going really well. We've made everyone since I've been out so far, and like Candy said, we do everything. We do lots of fun stuff with him, and everything seems to be going really well. So,
Are
Yeah.
you done with your criminal matter altogether? Or are you still on supervision of some sort?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Are you done with your criminal matter, or is it still pending?
I'm on parole.
Okay. And at this point, can you tell the court about what your wishes are in this case? You want to, of course, be a father and get your rights reinstated to the full extent possible?
Yes, I just want Braxton home as soon as possible. I'm doing everything I can to get him back home with me, and that's ultimately my goal. I'm going to continue doing whatever I need to do to get to that point.
Okay. And last question, you asked this court today to make sure that how much time were you out already?
Just a few months. I'm
Okay.
still kind of just getting settled in. I'm working a lot. I do take off on Thursdays for our visits, obviously, but other than that, I work 6 days a week, just trying to get everything done and be prepared.
So you want to ask this court today to find you in full compliance?
Yes, sir.
And nothing else, Your Honor?
Mr. Rowens?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Sexton?
Just a few. Mr. Bishop, as far as you're currently on parole, is that correct?
Ma'am?
You're currently on parole?
Yes, ma'am.
And where is your what is the name of your parole officer?
Miss Herndon.
Okay.
Herndon.
Okay, would you be willing to give CPS her contact information and permission to speak with her?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we just want to see how you're doing on parole, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Ms. Sexton?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay, Ms. Musgrove?
No further questions for Mr. Bishop, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Hilly, any other witnesses?
And with that, I rest, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Rowens, any witnesses you'd like to call?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll come back to you, Mr. Rowens, for a report. Ms. Brown, obviously, I now know that your client, Mr. Oates, has intervened. With that negative ICPC home study, what is it that you want the court to do with that?
Again, I apologize, Judge, for just coming into this and receiving that information. My clients just want to be able to have some access to the child after, briefly questioning the CPS representative. It seems like they may, if they, get this approved, they may be able to move forward with some supervised possession. So he just wants to be able to still be able to be a part of his grandson's life, as well as be there for his daughter to help her as well as she progresses.
Okay, let me ask my question more specifically. So your petition and intervention seeks sole managed conservatorship of the child. Your client, based on the testimony and everything that I know in this case so far, has a negative ICPC home study. So the state of Texas cannot place this child into the state of Georgia because the state of Georgia won't give us permission. So again, your client seeking sole managed conservatorship. How do I accomplish that potentially with a denied ICPC home study?
Yes, Judge. With those facts, then the court would not be able to move forward on the request of my client.
Okay, so obviously that's something that maybe you and your client could work on with the state of Georgia. ICPCs get pretty tricky, but obviously if he's there in Georgia and you're his representative, maybe y'all could work that out with the state and see if you could get them to do an addendum or something.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Sexton, anything on behalf of the department today?
Yes, sir. I just want to bring to everybody's attention, everybody did get a copy of that home study. It's not just the fact that it was denied, it's the fact that Georgia did not give us a lot of that information and was very vague as to the reasons why the home study was denied. They kind of sent us this checkbox form, listing all the reasons why it could have been denied and not checking off anything. And so it could be anything from, criminal history to abuse. So we definitely we didn't get the FBI fingerprints. We didn't get a lot of stuff from Georgia. So, again, we've got a denied home study and we don't have any information on the grandfather. And at this point, I don't know how we're going to get information on him. The department doesn't have a problem, letting the grandparents, have access to him as far as like right now he's doing, they're doing FaceTime and because they're going fine. But I don't want anybody to be under the illusions that we would in any way support anything past what we're offering right now.
Okay, so Ms. Sexton, part of what I'm hoping is that now that Mr. Oates is here and he has an attorney, since the home study is about his home, hopefully they can get information from the state of Georgia. I mean, I have a feeling some of this is just tied up in confidentiality. So Ms. Brown hopefully can work with Mr. Oates to get information from the state of Georgia that's what I'm saying. It may be something that is curable with an addendum, or at least she could get more information for her client. But, at this point, I'm not sure based on the information we have, there's anything else that, we can do. Obviously that issue could be briefed if it becomes something we need to consider later, but obviously with Mr. Oates and Ms. Brown in the case, they can hopefully get as much information as possible out of the state of Georgia and see if they could cure any deficiencies. Okay, Mr. Rowens, do you have a report recommendation for the court today?
Yeah, Your Honor, I saw my client at school this week. Again, he is one of the cooler young clients I've ever had. He's a well-spoken young man, and I think it was his personality that caused this, Your Honor, but he did know everybody in the office, and I don't think that was because of his behaviors. I think it's just because of who he is. And so he reported to me that he really likes his visits with mom and dad. All his needs are being met by the current placement, so I would ask that the current placement be continued, and that his visitation be continued and possibly increased whenever the advocates feel that is appropriate.
Okay, Ms. Musgrove, anything on behalf of your client today?
No, Your Honor, we're really hoping that with Ms. Brown intervening in the case, like you said, we can maybe cure some of the issues with grandparents' denial of the ICPC. JJ, My client is working hard and has been working hard through the pendency of this whole case. Everything that's asked of her, she did have a slip up, but she is curing that. And as Ms. Pratt said in her testimony, she took full responsibility before. It wasn't that the department found out and then she took responsibility. She took responsibility upon that relapse and started working towards a new plan and working towards services that could be provided for her and strengths and tools that she could develop in order to remain sober for the pendency of the rest of forever. Her main focus has and always will be to have Braxton with family as soon as possible. That's our next goal, and that's what we're working towards. Whether that's with Mr. Bishop, as you can see, they're co-parenting very well, or it's with her parents. We're hoping that those two horses run concurrently and we can see which one gets to the finish line faster. But she is working everything that she needs to be. I'm very proud of her and excited to see how we can get Braxton home as soon as possible. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Hill, anything on behalf of your client, Mr. Bishop?
For the department to be allowed to increase visitation as his compliance increases. Thank you.
Okay, so based upon the testimony today, the court does find the placement of Braxton's meeting all his physical and emotional needs, and it's the least restrictive placement this time. That placement is continued. As far as compliance, the court does find that the mother in this case, Ms. Page, is in compliance with her court order point of service, that Mr. Bishop is not in compliance with his court order point of service. Ms. Pratt, can you tell me how, sounds like the visits at this point, we're having one today. How long is that visit?
And they usually go from 10 to 12.
Okay. I don't like that, you know, obviously I'm glad that they are having an opportunity to be with their son. I don't like that they're having to spend their visit with doing a court hearing today. So I'm going to order that today's visitation be extended an extra 30 minutes so that we're not.
It will be. Yeah,
we're
I've already talked to Stephanie. She already planned to extend it.
Okay, so we're going to extend that visit by 30 minutes at least. So Ms. Page, Mr. Bishop, I do have to admonish each of y'all today that your parental rights are still subject to further restriction or even termination unless you're willing and able to provide Braxton with a safe, appropriate, drug-free environment. Do each of y'all understand that? Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I'm also going to order Mr. Bishop to sign a release of information for the department to discuss this case with his parole officer, so that the department will have a fair opportunity to assess what Mr. Bishop is doing and not doing. And additionally, we're not going to be back here for a while. So the court is going to authorize an order that visitation between the parents and Braxton can be extended by agreement of the child advocates without coming back to court. I'm very glad to see Braxton appearing with us here today, but sorry that was part of a visit. We're going to come back for our next permanency hearing on December 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Hello, Braxton. Again, we're going to be back on December 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m. So Ms. Page, Mr. Bishop, I expect y'all to have a significantly more progress between now and then. I know Ms. Page has been working very hard. Mr. Bishop, you have some time to make up, but I do appreciate that you have priorities that you've set for yourself. Please make Braxton a priority at this point and get some services and make some changes for us.
Yes, sir.
Hey, any other issues we need to take up before we're done for the morning?
No, yeah.
No, sir.
No, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you everybody for being here. Obviously, everyone, please take a look at the intervention filed by Ms. Brown and her client, Mr. Oates. And other than that, we'll see y'all back at our next hearing on December 11th. All parties are excused to that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge.